Yo, I think we live, man. We live here.
We live.
We live,
We
bro.
live to the. I'm about to say the nation. Are we live to the world right now, bro?
I think we are. I think we are live. I hope we
Got
are.
it. Yeah, man. We got into the show, man. Hey,
Gotta
this
open up
is
the chat and see if they.
There we go.
Go ahead.
We got Emily here. He said, "Open up the chat." Got to shout out Emily.
Shout out to Emily. Shout
Yeah,
out
man.
Emily.
Yeah,
I know
thanks
you
for
got
joining
volleyball
us, man.
coming up soon.
Yeah, but all importantly, go Bucks, man. Hey, believe this is Believe in Buckeyes. We're gonna dive into this Texas game. Obviously, we played these guys in the playoffs. Obviously, we got the great, I don't know, privilege to play them again, right again, week one of the season. And some things would be the same, some things would be different. Obviously, a lot of the guys would be different, right? Some of the schemes would be different. We got a new defensive coordinator, but I don't know. I think the plan to stop Jeremiah Smith probably would work the same because I mean, I guess that was, it's not. I'm not gonna say he had a bad game. He just didn't have a lot of stats this game, right? I mean, that's fair, right?
Yeah, I mean they did a good job of playing coverage, paying attention to him. I think. I mean, one thing that fans should understand. First of all, there's no games before the week one, right? So there's no film to watch for either one of these current teams as currently constructed. So everybody, you basically just watching last year's tape. And coincidentally, they played each other in the college football playoffs, and Texas' last game was against Ohio State.
Right.
So you can imagine the coaches, the players are likely what went wrong, what went right. What do we do in terms of game planning for this team? Even though there's going to be some new faces, and Ohio State has a new defensive coordinator, so they're not going to really, they're not going to know for sure what the defense is going to look like. But they'll have an idea of what Ohio State has recognized as their strengths defensively, and then offensively, obviously Ryan Day is Ryan Day. So they're gonna expect similar attack with a similar personnel. I think one of the interesting things is the defense. They probably go back and watch some Patriots, some Detroit Lions, just to see Matt Patricia's approach to defense as well. But yeah, I think this is going to be the game that they watch over and over. And if you're Texas, we'll get into it. But if you're
Yeah.
Texas, you got to like kind of how you play for the most part, and
Yep.
your opportunity to correct your mistakes and try to get go in the shoe and get a win.
Yeah, I will agree. I mean, obviously, we won this game
For being honest,
28-14. Obviously, Jack Sawyer make the huge play at the end to kind of get that scoop and score off the sack fumble. But I mean, this is a game Texas was in, right? I looked at some of the stats before the game. I mean, most of this stuff is about dead even. When you look at passing yards, rushing yards, I think we maybe outrushed them 20 yards. We outpassed them by like 6. The turnover margin was which the big difference here, we only had one turnover, they had two, and obviously our one we was able to turn directly into points.
yeah,
But that's really the difference in the game. So if you're Texas, you feel like this game, you possibly let this game slip away, due to the circumstance. The ball literally didn't bounce your way, and you lost this game. So we'll definitely be facing a fire to a bunch. But
right.
yeah, let's get into it, man. Let's get this film going, man. Let's roll this out.
Yeah, let's get into it.
Mm,
Game starts out early. Early, if you're on defense, you want to protect any shot play early on. It looks like Ohio State's in some type of cover two when this thing starts off. Texas get a good run on first down. Um, I think that run game was something that they're gonna want to try to improve on
yeah.
this year because they had some plays in the run, but most overall they didn't get much in the run game. Uh,
No, no.
and
I think
actually,
at
I
the
think I think we missed first down here.
yeah. Uh, yeah, I mean,
Back this
yeah, when
thing
it
up a
came out to, I
little
think
bit.
Texas might have had 60, 70 yards rushing today. I mean, obviously not huge.
First and 10, shot, keep everything in front of you. 4-yard gain. Solid play on both sides. You don't want to give up nothing big early on. It felt like those short check downs was basically the bulk of Texas gains overall. when you go
Yeah.
through the entire game.
Yeah. I mean,
Now
I
we're on second
mean,
down. So they get 4 on 1st ahead of schedule.
yeah. Yeah, I mean, and obviously, I mean, that's what Texas. I mean, that's the game
Was
plan against Ohio State, right? You're not hitting us over top, especially last year with our defensive bees. So, yeah. So with that, you kind of have to nickel them down. That's how you get the ball moving against us.
can you see me?
I can see you now.
Okay.
Yeah. Like
I,
disappear, everything disappeared for a second. It was just me, but like it seemed like we're still live, like still rolling. I didn't want to say nothing crazy and start cussing or nothing.
all right, man. Let me see if we can get back to it. All right, we're back.
All right, we're great.
There we go. Third
Yep.
and third and medium. Texas, this first drive, if I remember, was pretty decent. They drove the ball down the field. They converted on some third downs. Um, a little bit choppy here. Looks like Ohio State's in some type of cover four. They go coverage on third down. And one thing that was interesting, I thought both teams on third and short, third and medium, where you expect a lot of man coverage, they ran some zone coverages. Um, and on this one, Ohio State has everybody in position. Just a really good pass and catch here
Mhm.
on the sideline. They're struggling with the string.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on.
You still there?
I'm still there. I'm still here. Still here. I'm back
Yeah,
to
we may
you.
have to
No
do this
video.
again. So, let's try this again. That stream up there for you?
Yep, I can see now.
So they just convert on third down. They go with the reverse. Man, look at Sonny Styles on this play, man. Pursues. He's right there. Denzel does a good job of coming up. He just needs to get outside. If he gets outside, Sonny Styles tackles that for like a 5, 6 yard loss. So he was in good position. Just had to keep going upfield. But Texas liked a little bit of that misdirection. I think they felt like running up in the middle. They watched a lot of games before this, and running up in the middle didn't really A lot of teams weren't able to do that well. So you see a couple misdirection plays. You go to we
Yeah,
might have to
no.
try this again.
I want to say, is it working for you smoothly? Because if not, maybe I need to drop. And I don't know because it's not going
Yeah,
very
I
well.
mean yeah, it works for a second and then it goes. But let me open up the chat and see if what everybody's saying out there. What's the chat talking about? Emily mentioned how much do you think they look the same? I think Texas is gonna look mostly the same, outside of adding some Arch Manning quarterback run dynamic that they didn't really have with Quinn Ewers last year. That they did have with Arch Manning last year, but obviously he got hit and got knocked out the game. So I think that's something they're gonna feel good about offensively. Uh, I'm gonna try to pull this thing up one more time. If it doesn't work,
Yeah, I don't know. Let's maybe pull the
then
cameras
we'll
down.
reschedule it.
Maybe yeah. Let's knock the cameras off. Maybe that'll help us out, like a Teams call or something like that. I don't know. Let's try it.
Yeah. Let's back this up.
I just like to say, it's funny when we
IB,
practice
you
this,
can
it
hear me
works.
clearly?
I can hear you clearly. I'm seeing some ball play a little bit here. But when we practice this stuff, it works perfectly, right? Then we actually go live, and then this is what we get.
It was perfect.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Technology, man, the gift and the curse, man. That's how it goes.
Second and four. So they're moving the ball. That last play should have been a TFL, but not keeping contained. They got some yardage. Not in second and four. They got him right there. But D lineman, what was that? JTT ends up knocking the ball down. I mean, and this is what it. I feel like their Texas game plan overall, they were solid. They just needed
Yeah.
to execute and make those plays.
But
And
that,
our
yeah,
defensive line,
yeah, I was gonna say,
what was
but
that?
I mean, I was gonna say that's a good game plan against Ohio State, especially last year, right? Like we was not giving up the big play. We haven't given up the big play all season, so you was gonna have to execute against Ohio State to get a drive going. And a lot of times, it's funny that that came out throughout the season, right? Teams usually put together their first one or two drives against us usually went well. They might have got points. Then after that, we kind of settle in and figure it out. But you kind of have to execute, and that was something that they was able to do with their quarterback, with Ewers having the experience that he had, that he could just execute. Hit the check down, and kind of keep
Exactly.
things moving along. To kind of get first downs. All right.
Yeah, just basically take whatever they're giving you.
Right.
This third down, this one was interesting because it's third and four. You're expecting pass. Ohio State looks like they're in a man coverage here, and they run the ball. They run the ball. They don't get much. You know, for them it's four down territory, so it makes sense to run, I guess, in that situation because they got another shot at getting that first down.
Yeah, but also we did a great job at reading the cues, right? He's still playing ball and not just thinking, knowing his pass is third down and still fitting up correctly to stop the run there.
So here's a situation. It's 4th and 3. Um, you expect man on defense. But Ohio State plays his little zone, almost getting into like a quarters coverage where Caleb Downs is like the corner in this case, and Denzel is like that nickel. But that's just great. That's just great defense by the backer, knowing where his help is, staying on him. I mean, Ewers makes the right decision. That's the guy you want on this third down, and that's just good defense. I mean, he has had a great game in coverage, man, all game. So they get off the field.
Yeah. And that's the real. I mean, if it's like I said, once again, the game was pretty even, but the things that was in our favor, fourth down, we went for it once, we got it. There was 1 for 3 on fourth down. Obviously, they start their game with not getting one. And I hate to call it a gamble, but obviously, since they didn't get it, what you say, like, can't kick a field goal, maybe you should put them deep and make them try to start from the 1 yard line. But hey.
Yeah, and this first drive showed the difference from an execution standpoint early in the game. It just seemed like Ohio State just did everything they needed to do. Like Texas got a free guy. That backside backer comes in and he gets stiff arm. 6 yards.
Yeah, that's just good tough
So
running coming off the sideline.
yeah, that's just great having great players. That's my player is better than yours, basically. Even here, they go back with the run again. He gets hit. He gets stood up for 1 yard, but still falls forward.
Yeah, still fall for it. Then and it's funny enough, look at the line of scrimmage. Ohio State definitely wins the line of scrimmage on that play. The guys in white are going back.
Right.
But sometimes if you got a guy free, you got a guy free. He's able to get a hit on.
But he still falls forward, and that's the difference, man. When you have guys on every play, even when the defense has everything they're supposed to have, they got a guy free. He's able to make the hit. That hit happens at the line of scrimmage. That hit happens 1 yard up the field, and he pushes up for 2 yards. Those are important. Every yard is important in these types of games. So now you got your first third down. And it's always interesting to me how they play Jeremiah Smith, right? It's not necessarily always a true double, right? But you always got high safeties over the top. This first third down, they're in the cover 3. They're in the cover 2, with that middle safety just being kind of a Tampa 2 middle hole player.
Yeah.
But it's 3rd and 3, bro. Like, look at the corner up top.
And you call him a middle
where you
hole
going?
player. It's a middle hole player, but look how he plays Jeremiah. He turns his head, right? Like if Will hits, who is that? G. Scott running in the middle of the field. That's kind of like a waiting shot right there, right? His head is turned. The ball was right there.
But see, the stress that Jeremiah Smith puts on you. Because look at the corner dropping underneath in his cover 2, basically giving up the 3rd and 3. Like, you know what I'm saying? He's just giving up a pass to Mecca Ibuka for a first down. That's really too easy, honestly.
Yeah, too easy. And
that's
again,
the challenge.
Yeah. You can't take away everything. And so Jeremiah Smith is one big thing, right? So let's at least try to take him away.
Exactly. And what happens is, so when Jeremiah Smith's on the outside, you're gonna have 2 high safeties and kind of like a cover 2 or a cover 4 split safety look. And you really start to put pressure on those inside players, the nickel corner, the linebacker in the middle, because you're almost playing everything from outside in. Just out of concern, right? We got to be aware of that guy. So all these little curls and stuff, you got to rely on these linebackers to drop underneath it. And what was that number 0 on defense, man? He had a long game in zone coverage. He had a long game in zone coverage. So Coach Day, the offense with Jeremiah Smith, and I should say Chip Kelly, it seems like he always ends up somewhere different than where he starts when he's off the ball, right?
Mm-hmm.
Just trying to force that defense, and this thing's getting a little choppy. We're just trying to force that defense to continue to adjust to him and try to get him in different spots. Can you see this?
Yeah, I'm seeing most of it. I can't see the end of the play. We took a shot here.
Yeah, he took a shot uh, down the middle of Jeremiah Smith. He ends up in the slot. The defense ends up with a single high safety. So they got a good look on defense. They got cover 3, got a middle field safety right in the middle where Jeremiah Smith is. And I want to say they probably are adjusting based on where he ends up, right? If he's outside to the field, we're going to be in some type of split safety look. If he's inside in the slot, we'll have a guy in the middle field safety just to make sure that we got somebody on top, right?
Yeah.
Um, and that's
Yeah.
where guys like Emeka Ibuka, uh, your tight ends, your running backs out of the backfield, that's where you give them opportunity to get free.
Yeah. And they run this out of what is that? It's a play action look here, right? No, this is second down.
It's, running backs just seem like they always got the yardage. They always fell forward. Um, I think Texas mindset probably gonna coming in is and probably even coming in this year is they're gonna get some chunk yardage down the field. Once they get close to the red zone, once they get across the 50, we gotta be able to buckle down and get off the field. So this offense was just so easy early in the game. Like, look at the linebacker where he's running, and you got Emeka Ibuka in the middle, just finding that softness in the zone. It and that's just the advantage. It's almost when you put Jeremiah Smith out there, it's like everything happens out from outside in, trying to trying to protect against any type of shot plays. Gives a guy like Emeka Ibuka who has a good feel of zone, and this year probably Brandon Dennis, right? To be able
Yep.
to,
Yep.
they're doing their best in zone coverage.
Mhm. Yeah, and I think I want to call out, how well, and it's funny, right? We're talking a lot about Jeremiah Smith and how they're going to play. We're talking about the quarterbacks and the experience and how they was able to get the ball and find and take what the defense gave them. But the game came down to the line, right, to the trenches. I mean, literally, right, when it came down to it, like I say, Sawyer make that big play against the right
Yeah,
tackle, wins. Literally, that whole goal line stand, right? He kind of beat him 2 or 3 plays in a row. Eventually, he gets the sack, fumble. Um, but he added some pressure there before that. But our line started off this game really hot against these guys. I mean, we was having a lot of protection. Obviously, you see Will Howard making these throws in clean pockets. I would say about it didn't stay that way. I think around second quarter, Texas kind of maybe figured some stuff out and started to kind of get some wins, especially on the interior guys on the defensive line. But we started off pretty hot against them and really getting a hat to a hat. Where they was a team that kind of known to be disruptive up front, and that's how they play their game.
yeah, for sure. And when you look at this play, clean pocket, right? Look at what Jeremiah Smith is. Look how they play him. They're in maybe a quarters type coverage, but they basically are doubling him. That safety, once the ball snap is turned and staring at Jeremiah Smith, which puts the slot corner in a basically a man to man at this point, right? He's got outside leverage. he's got to guard this guy everywhere. Uh, it's technically a zone coverage or something like that, but he's got this guy, man, and that just becomes too easy for Mecca Ibuka. Again, that middle linebacker, he's just not gonna get there. He's not gonna get there. So is that Brandon Ennis this year? You know what I'm saying? Like who
Mhm.
fills that role? You assume that it's gonna be a guy like Ennis. Um,
Yeah, and I mean, and that comes with experience, right? I mean, obviously, Mecca another first round draft pick wide receiver for Ohio State, and all the things he did over his course of his career, his 4 years. Brandon Ennis got to watch it firsthand, so it would be nice for him to kind of fit into that role because it's available. That spot is available. A guy that could come in and do that, and then as you see, you will get production playing that role for sure.
right. And then you got a guy like Cornell Tate. Now look at the safety again. Look where he's at, right? Um, I want to say they're in the man coverage, either cover three or a man coverage, but the corner up top, I mean, he's playing like there's a cover. He's playing like there's a safety in the middle of the field that's gonna help him. But that guy is not. He's not gonna help. I think this might be the play. That should be easy passing catch right there. Um, Cornell Tate drops this one though. But look how easy that is. Like that that's too easy.
Yeah.
That's too easy.
So if
Anybody
you're,
in the chat? Any
but let's
questions?
talk about this. Let's talk about this though, because obviously, I mean, Cardinal Tate drops it right. Obviously, not ideal. But if you're
Mhm.
Texas, if you're that corner who's guarding Cardinal Tate, because obviously he's back this year. We're expecting a big year out of Tate. What is he been like? Does he supposed to have inside leverage since he's on the island over there, or is he doing a real bad
Yeah,
job getting up the inside? Or
he should.
explain that?
Yeah, he definitely should be head up to inside. If he should be head up and inside. That inside safety is playing run. I don't know if he was expecting that safety to help and it got the safety vacated because he saw run. That could be the
Mm-hmm.
case, right? Because he might have a gap as well. But I wouldn't count on him. If there's a chance that this could happen, if I'm the corner, I wouldn't count on him. I'm playing inside leverage. Force him to throw a fade or something outside. It's a lower percentage play, but this is a high percentage play, even though it didn't work.
Yeah.
um, but you expect, especially this year for Cornell Tate, that to be just a layup. All right. I
Yeah.
wonder how it
Yeah. Right.
feels when Carnell Tate, you're the third option basically in this offense, but you have the talent to be a number one. Um, I don't know, no excuses, but you know what I'm saying? You just uh big game, you
You
get
let
that
one go.
opportunity early on. Just wasn't ready.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. No, but yeah, I don't know. That technique by the corner was real interesting. He was expecting any help. The way he was just open, right? He was just kind of sitting open. But yeah. So what we got here?
What a good run, man. Hey,
Right.
Quishon is special, man. Good good blocking up front.
Right. Good blocking on foot. Good way to stay with it, right? Because the nose wins right off the snap, right? And he
Yeah.
makes Quinshawn move his feet a little bit. And to be honest, I mean, he got that guy came fresh off the sideline, but that's a good play by the nose, right?
Yeah.
He's a big guy, but he got skinny. He got some penetration. Made the running back, make a cut. And hey, he did his job, right? That's a plus for him. But everybody else kind of kept fighting, and that's what happens in the run game. Like it's not always going to be pretty. It's not always going to be best position. Just keep fighting and don't let your man make the play, and then you give yourself an opportunity for things to happen.
And this is the other thing. So I know from playing defense, when you're going against really good receivers, especially when there's one that's like best in the country, right? You're always aware of where he's at, right? So when he's moving around a lot, you're communicating, you're moving, your eyes are open, and you're kind of playing pass. But in this situation, that same corner that almost gave up the touchdown, he's got to fit in here, right? Because that safety is going to end up getting blocked, but the safety has to trigger and force this thing to happen sooner, and the corner has to get up in there sooner because when you hesitate, against guys like Quishon Judkins, it's over.
Yeah. Right.
So it's gonna be interesting because these two backs. I mean, these two backs last year were special guys, man,
Yeah.
and they did a lot of things well: blocking, running, explosive runs, runs between the tackles, pass pro. I mean, there's some big shoes to fill. I'm confident that we could fill them, but there are definitely some big shoes to fill.
Yeah, there's some big shoes to fill. But it's like we're not gonna fill them like they was felt last year. That's not right away. There's no way you just replace Travion Henderson and Quinshon Judkins like that. Now I know we got some guys, right? We excited to see how they look in the
Yeah.
Scarlet and Gray, but we just can't. They gotta get some stripes. They gotta earn some Buckeyes before we get them that now.
So that's what Texas coaches are telling. That's what Texas coaches are telling each other right now. Like, hey, those running backs were special last year. They ain't facing the same guys. All right, so that's a challenge to our current backs, right? Because that's what they're talking about. I mean, keep it real. Let's keep it real.
Yeah.
They're like, yeah, that guy, those guys last year was special, right? That Travion Henderson guy, he was special. Quinshon Judkins guy, he was special. We're not facing the same guy. Second drive for Texas, back on defense, and we turn it up. I think this might have been the first blitz that we sent on defense. A little fire zone type coverage, cover three with a kind of match guys as they come out, and Quinn Ewers could feel it. He could feel it, and I feel like I don't know is if it's that he doesn't move that well, Quinn, or if the pressure was just collapsing really fast because it kind of seemed like he was tucking it a little bit earlier than he needed to.
Yeah.
It's
I
easy
think
for me to say.
easy to say, right? But I mean, just watching Ewers though. I mean, same though. I feel like if the game is coming to him easy early, they're scoring some points. He like kind of go with the wave of the game. He seems to be like more relaxed and like kind of make more plays. But if the game is tight and he's feeling the pressure, then essentially you start to see it in his ball handling and the way he kind of starts to operate in the pocket more or less.
Yeah. This is why I feel like they did good on in quick game, quick passes, run pass option. Right here, Ohio State was set throughout the playoffs where basically a cover two. And I'm interested to see how much they do of this year because this felt like a Jim Knowles type style type defense. Caleb Downs is kind of like a Tampa 2 middle linebacker who could play from depth but still come up and make a run. Fill in on the run.
Mm-hmm.
But they definitely saw this on film. This lineup right here, and like, shoot, we can RPO the backer right here, and that was a good play for him. Again, Texas. I mean, they made some plays. They had some plays, man. They moved the ball.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
they weren't big explosive plays. The short passing game worked well for them.
Yeah,
So
and obviously, like I say, at the end of the game, I was at the end of the game, their line, let them down, and obviously they give it to players to Sawyer, and we win. But for the most part, they played pretty solid. Texas, even before the game, if you just look at the sheer size of Texas off the line, like they got some big guys up there, and I guess that's maybe getting ready against their defensive line, who also got some big guys. But straight ahead, these guys was like, they're walls, man. These guys are built for tough, man. So there was always, to me, it was going to be a challenge up front on if we could kind of get these guys' feet moving and give ourselves some opportunities to win. Obviously, that's essentially what won it for us. But they played well. They should definitely have some, not feel too bad about the performance at the end of the
day. Now I shouldn't complain, right? Because this was a good game for Ohio State. They played well. They executed well. They played good football. But I did think defensively we still played a little conservative, right? Obviously, they didn't want to give him nothing cheap. Um, but we played with so much depth at times, disguising still. Um, and Texas is like, we're just gonna throw the quick screen out there. Like this, I mean, this is a Caleb Downs basically grabs his foot to save a touchdown. I mean, maybe they get him on the angle, but it's
But
like
maybe not.
they didn't have to work hard for this explosive. Yeah.
No,
I
no,
mean, they didn't have to work hard for this explosive. And it felt like most of their plays that they gained on weren't hard working type. We didn't make them earn it that much. Right? It was check downs, run for 5-6 yards, keep the ball moving.
right. I mean, obviously we'll get to it, but their most successful plays on the day was what? Not the check down with the running back running to the end zone and hit him on the wheel, right? So
Yeah. Yeah. It seemed like check down the field, and then once they got to the red zone, they got the wheel play drawn
mm-hmm.
up. Little boot, field side pressure right into the quarterback's face. This is a tough offensive call into this defense.
Right.
Great execution by Ohio State's defense. And there was some pressure. Ohio State. I mean, we pressured them here and there, just picked our spots. Um, I just thought even when they played zone coverage, I thought it wasn't. I don't think the call was the issue. I think it was just a little bit too soft in how they played it. But I don't know. You see on this run, I think for the most part, Texas didn't run the ball great. But I'm not. I didn't remember them even doing this well in a run early on in the game like this.
Yeah, but and it's funny, like this is obviously this is a successful play for Texas, right? But at the same time, it's still only 4 or 5 yards, right? And it looked good, right? Like they executed well, but
Yeah.
it's still only 4 or 5 yards, right? It didn't get the chains moved or anything like that. But it's it's 4 yards. I mean, it did a good job. I guess that was more like kind of like a stretch type
It
of play.
was.
It kind of lined up kind of funky to
Yeah.
get the stretch going though.
Yeah, like for Texas, the it felt like the story for them was third and fourth down, their ability to convert. Here they on 36. False start. Man, a false start in this game, a penalty in this game just seemed like it just seemed like a crusher, man. You
Yeah.
couldn't give up nothing, especially for Texas, who really just had to execute to perfection. That killed
Is
them.
it?
Third and
Yeah. Then
11.
for the day, I mean Texas win third down essentially in this game. They go 5 for 10, 5 for 15. We go 3 for 10. Um, so was that both? Was that put them at what 33%? That put us at 33. That put them at 30. Uh,
Yeah,
yeah. So you know, at the end of the day, it's
yeah.
close enough. But like you say, you can't have a false start. It's not in this game.
Third and 11. The pressure. This is what's crazy though because they got the running back chipping. They got the running back chipping the defensive end, and he don't touch him, and it's a wrap.
Yeah.
Uh, that's what you love as a defensive back. A DN on third and 11 that's just gonna get to the quarterback, and he just
Yep.
hope the quarterback just throws it up for grabs. But
And right, and if you look at it, like, and there's one man, right? You look at the
JTT,
rest of
so
the
that's
line.
that's gonna be KJ this year.
Yep,
Yeah,
it's gonna be KJ. And the thing is, like, everybody else is in a pretty good spot, and essentially, you should have a double team on the DN. But it's funny, like that's like one of the biggest things you see from college to NFL. Like in the NFL, he's gonna hit that DN, like he's gonna make his presence felt. In college, he chicken wings it, doesn't get
yeah.
anything on the guy, and turns to a sack.
Yeah, that's the execution. They didn't have a ton downfield. I think the zone picked everything up pretty well. But you want to get the ball out to somebody, see if you can make a guy miss and get you in a position to make a decision. Do we kick a field goal? Do we go for it? But yeah, JT had a game. JT, the whole defensive line had a great game.
Yeah, they may play when it counts
So
the
then they
most.
punted. Now my memory's getting foggy. I don't really think I remember this drive. I think this might be the drive when the penalty happened for Travion, but I'm not sure.
That that feels right, but we're gonna have to watch it and see.
That this is one of those plays where it's like we got to get for the ball, right?
Yeah, yeah. Because I mean, this is
we got to
the
we got to
sheer
give
position on the
the
field that you
balls.
call this play is kind of wild, bro. Your -8 there.
Yeah,
You throw it for essentially 7 yards in the backfield.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
And it basically operates like it's basically a screen pass. It's a tough block for Emeka Booker to make. If he makes the block, it's a game, but it's tough. You don't know where the player's at. He gets the ball like 5 yards behind his line of scrimmage. Um, but interestingly enough, he gets hit 5 yards behind the line of scrimmage, and it's what, a 3 yard gain, 4 yard gain,
3 or 4 yard
three
game.
yard gain.
And that's why you
Yeah,
win with
that's
people.
what that's right. Exactly, exactly. That's the difference.
Yeah, that's a crazy time to make that play call for a record.
But it seemed like this is open all game. All game. They kind of switched it up. They kind of majored in cover three this drive. But still, number zero, that linebacker, man, it's just tough. It's just asking too much of him for real. Like, it's asking too much of that middle linebacker to move around in space like this and covering zone. It's just not gonna happen. Right. So you're basically giving that up all down the field until you figure, I'm gonna call one or two plays where I feel like I can make something happen. Two-man route. Two-man route versus cover three. Linebacker does a good job of dropping underneath. But even still, you get 2 yards on the play.
Yeah, held a lot of guys up in protection there. Obviously, was trying to take a shot, try to catch Texas, maybe get a little excited and start playing towards the line of scrimmage. But they played it well, right? Nothing was there.
Yeah. And you know, I don't know. It's gonna be Julian Sane or Lincoln Kinghouse this year. Um, in that drop back, I haven't seen much of Sane running. I don't know if I either haven't seen it or I don't remember. I don't know what his athleticism really looks like. I've seen Lincoln take off here a little bit.
Yeah,
Um, that's gonna be interesting. When you don't
yeah,
have
that's gonna be
nothing,
interesting
what does a Julian Sane look like
on a
on the
play just
scramble?
like this. Oh yeah, that's a good one. Because on a play just like this, I don't know right now. I haven't seen anything from Julian saying to say he gonna get around that edge like Will Howard just did. Um, I would say we have seen enough from Lincoln to say
Yeah,
he could have. Yeah, but so we'll see.
yeah,
We'll see.
yeah. I think Lincoln
Lincoln
Lincoln's a
get
pretty good
Lincoln would have got
athlete.
that edge. He would
Yeah.
have got that edge for sure.
And now this goes back to these special running backs, man. Look at the runner and look at the blocker. Boom, get out of here. Now I'm down the sideline, bro. What type of luxury is it to have two guys like this? Look at this.
Yeah,
I mean, like, this is a good little run play. It's blocked up well. Even if Quinshawn blocks this nickel corner and holds him up right here, maybe Travion squeezes through, but you at least have the opportunity to constrict the lane. He just knocks him on the he just knocks him on his butt.
He eliminates them.
Like
Like these guys play so well at running back. It just made me tip my hat to Coach Lockett, man. Like he had these guys on another level. Like this guy basically is like he looks like a
another
pulling
level.
guard and just runs the guys over on the edge. Like yeah, Texas did everything right except get ran over on the edge. Like and then boom, it's a game.
Right. And, and everybody else blocking, receivers blocking so if I'm Texas, if I'm the coach at Texas, right? I'm saying one, we can't get knocked back like that. As the corner, you got to stand that guy up, hold your ground, right? But two, that guy's not there no more, right? He ain't there. 32's not there, and number one's not there. All right, we feel good about our ability to attack them without those guys there. Now, you can say that, but obviously there's new guys, and you don't know what those guys are capable of. But uh,
Yeah.
Texas is gonna, I mean, they're gonna feel good about that fact.
Yeah, that's for sure.
again, and this doesn't change this year. I don't know. You got to deliver the ball at quarterback, but this doesn't change because you kind of have the same personnel from an athletic standpoint at receiver. You got probably a better tight end and clear. Um, and if you're gonna sit in the zone like this and make this linebacker work like this, he just can't do it. He just can't do it, man. He can't do it. Now you got to have the quarterback to deliver it.
Yeah, and what's disheartening about that, they played a 3-man rush here. So, yes, we should have had a clean pocket, and we did. But you expect a little bit more coverage. So, if you do give us something here, it should be short. You shouldn't give it up, 15 yards down right in the middle of the field. So, I don't know. That one stings a little bit if you're a coordinator.
It does, but with these zone coverages, when you're dropping the defensive end, I remember my dog Thaddeus Gibson used to drop in zone sometimes, and I knew Thad was gonna cover up one window. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's
Yeah.
one window he's gonna cover, and I'm gonna have to get to the next one. Like these defensive ends, they're not providing that much support. You know what I'm saying? So just a little bit of support. So at the end of the day, man, you drop that defensive end, and I'd rather my defensive end go
Rush.
give him a pass rush move. Like, I don't need you to
Rush.
drop for me. Like, don't drop for me, bro. It's
Yeah,
cool
but
if we got a blitz going and you
yeah.
like a little zone dropper.
Yeah, right. Because right, looking at like he probably was in error, right? Because essentially you had two people guarding the flats. Like he take off to the flats, and then another guy takes off there as well. So he probably was supposed to rush.
Right.
He heard something different.
This is a waste, bro. Like this is a waste. But the reality is they got to lay in coverage, right? You got to lay in coverage because you don't want to give up an explosive play to number 4 and number 17. And you know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
that's where you end up. You're trying to figure out how can we cover the entire field. I think they changed it up this year a little bit though.
What?
Uh, Initially, my assumption is that they stick to coverage because obviously number 4 can kill you. But I think they send a few more pressures, not consistently, but they pick their spots because you got a younger quarterback,
Yeah, you
right?
got a young
And
quarterback. Yep. If you name Saying,
but I
you would
don't
have
know.
a smaller quarterback as well. All right? A much smaller
Yeah,
quarterback. Yeah. So maybe a less mobile quarterback.
I
So all reasons that you might want to send some pressure. Young, smaller, and less experienced. So
yeah. And to their credit, they just sent pressure in this game. They would just drop a end and send like a field side pressure with the nickel or whatever, like something like that. But with a guy like Julian Sane or Lincoln Kinghouse who's young, they may not be able to recognize those shifts. So there's probably at a minimum there's going to be more movement, I think, on
yeah.
defense, just to try to confuse the quarterback. I think if I'm Texas, I feel confident that if we give that quarterback a little bit more movement from those safeties and send pressure from different sides, different areas, um, we can get him on his we can get him catch him off guard.
Yeah, yeah. And there you go. You caught it.
This is the penalty.
Penalty. Trevion needed to bless that man with his hands that play. That's all. Had to bless him with his hands. The referees didn't like
I'm gonna try to turn my camera on for a second. It seems like we had good flow. So I'm
it. See, man, don't mess. Ah, we got good flow.
throw it out.
Hey, let me kill this flow. I'm gonna keep my camera off for a minute, man. See how it goes.
This is the Trevion penalty. This was the one he said he asked God for forgiveness afterwards, man. This was one of
He had
those
to bless him with
was
his hands,
sideline.
man. The
And
referees
I'm
didn't
glad
think
he did it.
it was an appropriate time to be blessing with hand giving out, laying hands, holy hands on people.
I'm glad he went to the sideline and talked to God because it got him back locked in, right? Got him back locked in. We all know what happened right before the half. All right, you had a. I'm about to shut my camera off.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I was about to say that's spin a circle. Oh man. All right, we back, man. Yeah, man. We don't need to see you right now, man. You know what you look like. But once again, this is a killer, right? They jump off sides to kill their drive. We get a personal foul. Second and 24 is never ideal.
Yeah, there ain't no play for second and 24. Let's run the ball, see if we can get something going. How much of this do you expect?
QB run.
This year? QB run.
Once again, it's gonna depend on the guy. If we got Lincoln out there, we're gonna call it. I think we might actually play. That's why I think Ashley will be his direct access to the field, is trying to keep that in the offense and kind of still put that on the thought in the minds of defense that we're capable of doing this. Some Lincoln packages. We can go out there. We could use his big athletic body. He obviously still has some talent, some arm talent, and definitely has some success. And I'm talking like he's not going to be the starter, right? But if he's the starter, definitely we keep that off. But we're saying we probably kind of go like we looked maybe a couple years ago, or back when we had C.J. Stroud, right? We're not going to be doing a ton of QB runs. We're going to let we're going to get him in some space situations, right? So he could, use our arm talent to get the ball to our guys, but maybe necessarily not so much north and south with him.
So this is how the defense adjusts, right? Because now you have a quarterback that you don't expect to actually carry the ball. There's two quarterbacks. There's one quarterback that we expect they might do some of that stuff with. The other quarterback, we don't expect it, right? So we're not going to acknowledge it, right? They're going to have to prove to us that Julian's saying can keep the ball and not get knocked out of the game. If they can prove that to us, then we're going to respect it. So that's a different dynamic. I think on the flip side, with Arch Manning, you do have more quarterback run for Texas. So they're going to feel good about the RPO game, quarterback, read option, etc., and just design run for Arch Manning, even though he got knocked out of this game.
Yeah. I was about to say, like, Arch Manning's going to feel really good that Lathan Ransom is now playing on Sundays and not on Saturdays. So, yeah, he's going to feel really good about, possibly running the ball against Ohio State because, in this game here, he was kind of, one and done situation. Shout out to Ransom.
That's one thing. Hostile environment. You're on the road. You got to run the ball. Texas knows we can't throw the ball 50, 60 times and win this game on the road. It's just not realistic, right? So they're gonna try to improve their run game. That's where their focus is gonna be, and that's gonna have to include Arch Manning keeping the ball. So that's something for Ohio State to consider. And then they're gonna want to confuse this quarterback, whoever it ends up being, because he's a young quarterback. And they're gonna feel good that they got a new set of running backs back there. Let's be honest, man.
Yeah.
They're gonna feel good that there's a new set of running backs. I don't know that they should, but they will. That's the end of the quarter. You want to stop here for today?
Yeah,
Or you
man, I
want to
think
keep
it
it
was
going?
good, man. I mean, what you feel? I mean, I'm up for both, but I think it was good to kind of
Yeah,
get the ball rolling. It's like we almost got 4 weeks exactly to the game, so we could do a dive in a quarter per. Um,
turn your camera on,
go
bro.
turn my camera on. You want to see me?
Oh, yeah, I want to see you, man. What you talking
Man,
about?
I've been over here drinking a little bit of this cognac, man. So I'm in a different headspace than I was, 30 minutes ago, man. But no, man. But yeah, no, we can do a quarter time. But it's just interesting that this game, was week one. I was talking to somebody about it, and how it is. I always pick Ohio State to win every game, right? Like, I mean, I just like we got the
Yeah, you
guys.
got some bias. You got
Obviously,
some
yeah, I
bias
got
there,
some
bro.
bias, man. It's like obviously we always gonna have some guys. We reload, we don't rebuild type of situation. But if we was to lose a drop a game to Texas early, like it wouldn't affect the season a ton. Obviously, Texas got a lot to play for, right? Those guys gonna be, you know, nothing motivates a athlete than other than better than losing, right? And they just lost to us,
Right.
and the next game is against us. This is the uh almost the grand arriving of Arch Manning taking over the Texas football program and all the things that they plan on doing this year. So I expect Texas to come and really be locked in. They got lucky. They get to play at noon. They don't get the full
Right.
Buckeye
Right.
experience coming down on them. I think they'll come out and play well. So I think it's going to be up to us to really early in the game, like in this game, get out early, get a lead, maybe catch the coach going for it on fourth down where he maybe want to punt us deep type of situation and try to swing that momentum early and what's the term, match their intensity early because they're going to come up fired up. So we got to kind of match it, go at it, and then kind of let this game settle in as we learn how to play as our 25 team and kind of get it going from there. Yeah, revenge
Yeah.
tour Texas. That's a
Revenge
good
tour
one.
for Texas. Right. Right. I mean, they're gonna be, and you know, obviously we're biased. We're Buckeye fans and former Buckeye players, but I mean, realistically, just from an X's and O's football standpoint, if you are Texas, if you're a Texas coach, you're gonna feel good about your chances to be able to come in here and get a win early in the year. Early in the year, new quarterback, new running back, right? Still the same athletes on the outside, but they got to have the connection with their quarterback. Defensively, new defensive scheme, new defensive coordinator, right? A lot of new for Ohio State. While Texas comes in with a quarterback who's been there, who like every analyst out there in college football says is the greatest, one of the greatest players to ever play football, right? Um, and then some continuity in terms of what they do on offense and what they do on defense. And if they go back and watch the game, some of the plays they had guys there, right?
Mhm,
Quinshawn
mhm.
Junkins stiff arm gets 5 more yards. Quinshawn Junkins lay out a defensive player. Then Travion Henderson is behind him juking
Mhm.
and gets 20 yards. Like that level of, I mean, these are guys that both went in the second round in the NFL,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah.
So they're gonna feel good that they're not going against the same type of duo, which I mean, we don't know what they're going against yet, right? We don't know for a fact, but they're gonna feel good about that. They're gonna feel good about the fact that they're going against a new quarterback who's kind of getting his feet wet. It's week one, so he's not gonna be whoever he's gonna be at the end of the season. He's not gonna be that week one. That's just the
Yeah.
reality,
Yeah.
right? So that's likely gonna allow them to take a little bit more risk on defense.
Mhm.
Allow them to take a little bit more risk on defense. So that's what we should be looking at on that side of the ball. And then defensively for Ohio State, potential new scheme. Um, I know a lot of good players coming back. Right, it's still going to
Yeah.
be a really good defense,
Yeah.
but Texas is going to want to run the ball.
Mhm.
They're going to have to run the ball to win this game, and they're gonna. I won't say feel good, but they should feel a little bit good that the D line that played last year,
It's gone.
they're all gone.
All four
Right?
guys in the NFL. Yeah.
They're
All four.
all
Yeah.
four guys are gone. So and they got a quarterback who could run the ball, which they didn't have that last
Yeah.
year, right?
And it's one.
You
And
got
if
to
it's one thing, sorry to cut you off, but if it's one thing Ohio State, well, we know we're thin that, right? And we had a, we kicked off camp today. We're not doing our show right now. We're talking about we kicked off camp today, and we had one of the guys go down right in the middle of our defense in Edric Houston. And hopefully it's not serious, but we don't know at this time. But within at the D tackle position, shout out to Asian Pride. Shout out Hero Canoes coming back home to with Texas. He got in the portal with one of our D tackles, and he went to Texas. I think Texas signed with 5 defensive linemen out the transfer portal this offseason. They want to win in the trenches. That's how they most likely will attack us, because one thing, we have to win there. That's literally what's the turning point of this past game is, playing the trenches in plays that was made. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, and if I'm Texas, I'm running the ball consistently. I don't care if they stop it. I'm running it, running it. And, I'm you got to prove to me that you're going to be able to stop this run with the group that's out there. And on the Ohio State side, obviously you feel good. You're playing at home. You just beat this team for the most part, but you were there. You experienced, what they can give you, and you're able to host them in the shoe. So, I feel good. I think the most interesting thing is who ends up being playing that quarterback, one, and their ability to kind of collect themselves for their first start against a big-time team very early in the morning. Very early in the morning. It's a noon game, bro. They got to wake up. They go to sleep, they wake up, and everything happens right away. There's no time to kind of, work your way and get, you breakfast. You eat breakfast, then everything's moving. School session, on the field, you warming up, and then boom. So everything happens quick. It's gonna be an exciting game. I prefer games like this to be week 2 or week 3. That's my preference, right? But nobody's asking me what I want when they make these decisions, right? So
no, but it's funny. Then it's also got to bring up 2 more things. One being that it's early; it's at noon. Like Texas is at least 1 time zone. Or they might be 2. They're at least 1 time zone behind us. So it's gonna feel like 11 o'clock to them, 10 o'clock to their body. And then secondly, we have to bring up I'm an old Buckeye fan, man. Last time that Texas came to the Horseshoe with Vince Young and the boys, leading up to the national championship season, they got the W. So we kind of we just won, but we still kind of owe them one to kind of teach them how things go in the shoe. We don't want the Texas Longhorns to start to feel too comfortable in the shoe, man. So we kind of need it.
Yeah, and I will say this: Texas, from a leadership standpoint, offensively, at the quarterback position, a guy who's been around. He's been around high level football for a long time, right? He's what I'm saying, Arch Manning. They're gonna feel good going in because they have that guy to lead that offense. So right now, these next few weeks of camp for Ohio State are big for both quarterbacks. I don't care who ends up being the starter, for both quarterbacks to become the leaders of the offense. Like it's gonna be important for them. It's important for it to be a true competition, regardless of who you believe is going to be the starter, because both of them have to walk in there with the mindset that they can lead the group, and they got to be comfortable in that. That's what you're doing in camp. You got to get them ready to go. So that's going to be big. That by the time they get to that first game, they've reached a level where they feel like I can run an offense, I can command the offense, I can lead the team. Because that's what things get tricky for week 1. Week 1 is it's different, man. It's not.
It's different.
It's not week 7 or 8. Yeah.
And you're dealing with kids here, this is not pro ball. In the NFL, it's week 1. I'm a professional athlete. I've been doing this for some years. Not much change. When you start talking about you dealing with some true freshman or a guy that redshirted who literally haven't played in the game in a year, or that's a guy who just never was consistently the starter, right? He never, he's always a backup type of role, and now this is his year to actually go out there and play. Man, it's just totally different. It's totally different, from practice to the game. And only in college, like in high school, you scrimmage. You have 2 or 3 scrimmages, you start a season. NFL, you got preseason, 2 or 3 games, opportunities to kind of practice and before the games get live. In college, There is none of that. You show up week 1, you have to be
Right.
ready to go, and if not, it will show.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Look, my
yeah.
first game, Youngstown State, redshirt freshman, bro. I don't remember nothing in the game, bro. Like everything was just stuff. I feel like stuff. I was just out there. Stuff was happening. I think I got a pick in that game too, but it was like one of those picks where the quarterback got hit, ball was just in the air, and I'm just sitting there catching it like a punt. And I feel like I caught the ball and I fell for no reason. Like, but it's crazy because that first game, it's like it's just it's different, man.
It's
So
just different. It's
I don't
so
know.
fast. Yeah, it's so fast
Yeah,
that you're not gonna be ready for it until you're in it, and there's not enough practice in the world for it, man. But hey, man, let's wrap this, man. We'll be back to get into quarter 2 probably next week or so. Obviously, we'll post on that. We got a huge announcement coming in the morning. We're live, so I can't say it today. We said they already kind of slapped our ribs, so we got to wait till Friday. But a huge announcement regarding our podcast starting tomorrow officially in the way we do things here at Believe in Buckeyes. Yeah, so looking forward to it. We'll bring you guys camp news as always. We get into things, but follow us YouTube, Apple, Spotify. Tune in to us as we kind of get you guys through this 25 Buckeye season. Even though we lied, Chip, we're gonna still end this as we always do. It might be a little choppy because whatever for a reason. The internet guys is not on our favor today. But as always, we end this with a nice
Ayo,
go Bucks. Talk to you guys soon.
go Bucks.